you as a young person, I know you do a couple of business outside this country, and of course, I want to believe that it's not as if what you want is not here, but the thing is, the capacity for us to get it here may not be there yet. So having a young man person talking about us discarding the issue of foreign assistance.
One of the things that has made me stand out in the international community is the fact that I celebrate my ingenuity as an African. I've been involved in a lot of music and entertainment activities when it comes to the global community in real estate. I've been involved in all that. So, you see people like Aldo Mekori, for instance, of Chocolate City, going to America for an African summit for entrepreneurs. These things don't make sense to me, for instance. You're talking about Africa in America. This is slavery. This is mental slavery. Personally, I would not do that. Africa this is psychological slavery. They are trying to keep enslaving us and telling us that we are not enough. But Africa does not need the world. The world needs Africa. So I don't have to go to America, go to Switzerland, go to all these places to have conferences and dialogue on issues that have to do with Africa. Bring it to Nigeria, bring it to Ghana, bring it to Ethiopia, bring it to Sierra Leone, then we can start talking.
Looking at our leadership as it stands now, we are not there yet, but we are hoping to get there. And of course, we have 2022 election around the corner.
Now the truth is 2023 can be the beginning of a better Nigeria. It's not going to happen overnight. Well, a lot of people think that somebody will become president in 2023 and then overnight their lives will be transformed and all that. For a country to be transformed, I've always said this, that it requires the participation of citizens and government, active citizenship, and the right institutions and systems is what will make a nation a nation. And one of the problems that we have had over the years, I spoke about this on one of my interviews, that we think that Nigeria is God's favorite country. But it's a lie. And this is why this has made us very irresponsible. So we think that Nigeria is God's last born. No. So we defecate everywhere, and we mess ourselves up thinking we are God's last born, He will fix us up. Because people have told you through prophecy and all those gibberish that God is going to fix you because God is so interested in Nigeria. No, God does not have a favorite country. A country, a nation is built by people, responsible citizens who are functioning based on working systems and institutions. So until we adopt this philosophy, China did it. In the 70s, China was like one of the most terrible, poorest countries in the world. Singapore came to Lagos back in the day to come and beg for loan. But look at where they are today, because they are not waiting for God. A lot of people tell you if we don't pray, Satan will make a mess of us. We have prayed, Satan has still made a mess of us. So it means that we have cognitive dissonance. We are not able to, rate what we say and our reality. There's no consistency between what we are saying and our reality. So it means that nation building is man's responsibility. It's not God's responsibility. And until we accept it as our responsibility as Nigerians, nothing is going to change. It boils down to the issue. Now, the thing is, I am not one of those Nigerians that think conventional thoughts. So now, people are free to demand these things. That is the truth. They are free to demand it. But the way they go about it is also very important. Now, this is what I believe. I'm not a prophet. But Nigeria is like a womb that is carrying different nations. And Nigeria can become the true giant of not just Africa, the giant of the world. We have potential. Nigerians, every industry on the global stage, you have Nigerians represented there. So there's nothing wrong with asking for your sovereignty and all that, independence and all that. But then the way you go about it is also very, very important. So all these agitations are things that we're meant to look at them from the perspective of, you look at the Yoruba people, for instance, it's almost like it's a nation. You look at what makes a nation in the first place. A nationhood, what are the components and the elements and the characters of a nation? When you look at it, almost similar language, similar religion, and so on and so forth. And then you have, like, in Iraq, for instance, there are Christians, but they are the minority. So it helps people to be able to build, a legacy of nationhood on that commonality. So what we are meant to do as Nigerians is, we can birth these nations eventually, but how we go about these things are very important.